Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. As we all know, the whole creation is filled with the grace and the energy or Shakti of Adi Parashakti. In the Durga Saptashati Shlokas, it is said, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matra Ropena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. It means that to that Devi who is in all beings, that is, all living beings, is abiding in the form of Mother. Salutations to her, salutations to her, salutations to her again and again. Devi is present as consciousness in everyone and in everything. There is no place where Adi Parashakti, the Shakti behind all the forces, is not present. Goddess has always protected us from the negative entities or the energies, and she has always tried to protect us. And also, in the universe, creation, in each and every atom, the force which is flowing is Jagannmata Adi Parashakti. That is the reason from long ago, Devi Aradhana or worship is there in our culture. Even when we look at the Sindhu culture and the Shastras, it is said that there were many Devis and Devatas idols were found. And Adi Parashakti was worshipped from the beginning. When it comes to Srishti, Sthiti and Laya, these are the three words used in our Hinduism which refers to creation, preservation and destruction. And for these, deities are Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara or Rudra. And the forces behind these three murtis to perform their duties of Srishti, Sthiti and Laya are Saraswati, Mahalakshmi and Mahakali or Durga Devi. So the omnipresent Holy Mother's presence is everywhere, and she has been worshipped in different cultures in a different way. Like this, as we have said in the first episode, there are 18 Shaktipitas, that is Ashtadasha Shaktipitas in India and also the neighboring countries. Apart from this, there are 52 Shaktipitas and also 108 Shaktipitas. Among these, the very older and famous Ashtadasha Shaktipitas we are going to experience and have a glimpse of the Shakti of Devi. In these episodes, we are making a very sincere and mindful effort of bringing you the 18 Ashtadasha Shaktipitas, locations and also why those names have come for that particular place. And also this is mentioned in Shiva Purana, and Ashtadasha Shaktipitas have a history. Why did it come and what is the significance and what are the powers existing in these locations? Among 18 Shaktipitas, the first one is Lankayam Shankari Devi. Now, according to the legend, the groin of Sati fell in Trincomalee, Sri Lanka, and the site became known as the Shankari Devi Shaktipit. Let us know the history behind Shankari Devi temple. Shankari Devi is located on a hilltop, and the Trikoneshwara is one of the 4 most important temples dedicated to Lord Shiva, which is in Sri Lanka, while the others are in Galle, Keeteshwaram and Muneeshwaram. The deity was being worshipped here for more than 2500 years ago, even before one of the first kings, Prince Vijay, landed in Sri Lanka in 300 BC. Shankari Devi temple was on the top of a beautiful rugged hill face that was named Ravananveddu. Trincomalee is a region where volcanic activity was going on, and nearby one can see the Kannai hot springs that shows the volcanic presence in the region. In those days, the deities of Trikoneshwara and Shankari Devi were hidden in a well to protect them from Portuguese invaders and were recently recovered in Trino after the independence of Sri Lanka in 1948 from a well. The South Indian Chola ruler Kulakottan renovated the temple while some Buddhists maintained the design for the king Mahasena, who destroyed the temple and built in its place a dagoba. After all the invasion and destructions, again in 1952, a temple was also made for Trikoneshwar. This was built by sage Agastya under the instructions from Lord Shiva, who was impressed by Ravana's devotion towards him. It is splendid as it is believed to be made of Lord for his devotee. Goddess Shankari is worshipped in the Devi temple in the form of Matumai Ambal. Goddess Shankari Devi had a lot of prestige and popularity during ancient times. A lot of history and tradition is related to the temple. Let's have an insight into some stories associated with the temple. During the Treta Yuga, Parvati got a strong desire for a big and beautiful house where she could live happily with Lord Shiva and their children. She approached Shiva with shyness visible on her face and told him about her desire for a large palace-like house. Shiva responded in a very humble manner. Shiva asked Parvati whether she had forgotten that he was a devout yogi of the yogis and had total control over his wishes and desire. For him, there was no difference between luxury and ordinary. But finally, Shiva decided to act upon his wife's wish and grant Parvati her wish. Lord Shiva waved his hands and asked Vishwakarma for his help. Shiva wanted him to build the most luxurious palace ever seen to fulfill Parvati's wish. Vishwakarma chose a beautiful location in Lanka and set up a magnificent palace filled with gems and jewels and cooled by water fountains. Parvati wanted to do the Grihapravesha and flew to Lanka with Shiva to find a suitable Brahmin for the ceremony. They heard Ravana's chant of Om Namah Shivaya, and Shiva was very pleased with Ravana and blessed him to achieve everything he desired. When Shiva realized that Ravana was the son of Vishravas and had complete knowledge of the Vedas, he selected Ravana to perform the Grihapravesh ceremony. Ravana accepted the role and set a date for the ceremony. He was a great scholar in astrology and even wrote a book on it and named as Ravana Samhita. Ravana performed the duties on the decided date and used all correct shlokas and mantras. Parvati was very pleased with everything, and as Dakshina she offered Ravana a boon. Shiva laughed because a Brahmin should never himself make a demand and should be happy with whatever he receives. Ravana smiled at the offer and asked for the palace as Dakshina because he had fallen in love with the palace. Parvati granted him his wife, but Ravana was very ashamed for asking for the palace. Now, Goddess Parvati granted him his wish, but Ravana was very ashamed for asking for the palace. He immediately apologized to Parvati and asked her to leave here and shower the region with her blessings. Ravana built a Jain temple here with intricate architecture solely devoted to Shankari Devi. The natural beauty around the temple was immense. He also included in the temple one of the most beautiful gardens of Lanka. The kingdom prospered with the blessings of the Holy Mother. The trouble started when Ravana kidnapped Sita and brought her here. Shankari Devi became very angry and asked Ravana to return Sita to Lord Rama. Ravana did not accept this, and as a result, Shankari Devi left the island because of disappointment. Later on, when Rama defeated Ravana, Vibhishana was crowned as a ruler of Lanka. He prayed for Shankari Devi to return to the kingdom and bring back the glory again to Sri Lanka. And there is another story associated with Shankari Devi temple, that is story of Adishesha. When Parameshwara blessed many gods and goddesses with special powers when the universe was created, Adishesha's task was to hold the earth steadily till the next pralaya happens. The wind god Vayu was furious and doubted Adishesha's ability to hold the earth. Adishesha got angry and a fight broke out between Vayu and Adishesha. He wrapped him around the Kailash and asked Vayu to blow away the entire mountain. Vayu turned into a hurricane and attacked the Kailasha. The world shook because of this battle, and the Devas came to Shiva's feet for the shelter. Shiva ordered Brahma to build another Kailasha in the south. Shiva also called Adishesha, who lifted 3 of his woods to listen to Lord Shiva. At this moment, Vayu broke 3 of the Kailasha's peak, and Parameshwara ordered to place these 3 peaks in the south. The third hill was named as Tirukkonamalai, and it lies on the same latitude as Kailasha. This is the place where Shankari Devi temple is located. And there is another story associated with Shankari Devi temple. As you all know, Rahu and Ketu, who are the demon gods who went and took Amrita from Lord Vishnu, who was there as in the Mohini Avataram. And now, story of Ketu. The Asura Ketu was also vital to the history of Shankari Devi temple. He swallowed the divine nectar by churning the ocean of milk, which gave him immortality. Later, Vishnu cut his head and he wandered headless. Brahma pitied him and transferred him into the planets of Rahu and Ketu. Ketu was very worried because of his sins and came to the place where the temple is, called Keeteshwaram in Sri Lanka. He worshipped Lord Shiva here and obtained moksha. Hope you all like this story of Shankari Devi, who is a merciful mother who also blessed demons. Imagine what she could do for us if we are having sincere devotion towards her during this Navaratri. We will definitely be blessed with peace, happiness and relief from worldly obstacles. Shri Matre Namaha, Guruve Tunai. Namaste.